Hello again. In this section, we are going to talk about strings more because strings have a lot of attributes and methods that they are important and we can use them. First of all, I define my first string and I call it, I just put hi, how are you? This is our string, string one. This is our string. But strings are actually very similar to the list. And if I choose the first element of my string, it will return as age. And if I put 1, it will return as I. And if I put 2, it will return as a space because after hi, there is a space. And then how are you? We can have access to all elements of a string by just uh, putting their index into these brackets, and we see the all elements of this string. But now I define my second string, and it is equal to space 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 hello world, and again space space and several space. Then I shift and enter. I call my string 2, but there is a method named stripped. If I press tab, as stripped, because it's a method, we put it in the two parentheses. What's the difference between methods and attributes? We will explain it in the object-oriented programming section. But if I put the cursor inside the parentheses and press shift and tab, the doc string, which is the descriptions for this method, will be appeared for us, and it will tell us what does this method do. It will return a copy of a string with leading and trailing white spaces removed. Very important. Leading and trailing white spaces. It means the white spaces at the beginning and the white spaces at the end will be removed. If I shift and enter it, I will see that it says hello world, and the white spaces are deleted. But instead of white spaces, for example, we can use hashtags like this one. In this case, inside of this method, we just say remove the leading and trailing hash, and it means just remove this hash map at the beginning and at the end of our string. If I shift and enter it, we see that again. We see that all of these hashtags are removed. And now the next methods for strings that we want to talk about is actually split. Here we have string 1, again string 1. This is our string 1, hi, how are you? We can change it, for example, here instead of a white space, we can just put a hyphen and shift and enter, shift and enter. This it says hi, how are you? But I put this hyphen on purpose. If I say split, what does this split do? I press shift and tab to see the doc string, return a list of substrings in a string using sep as the separator string. This is the sep, the input, okay? But if I press shift and enter, then it will return as a list like that, which it separates all the elements by the white spaces. It says, okay, hi, here we have a white space. So hi is one element of this list, then how are is the second element of this list, and then you, because it separates them by the space. But we can say that separate them by sep is equal to separate them by this hyphen. If I shift and enter, then we see we have hi, how, and then it reaches to this hyphen, and it separates the first part and the second part, which are the trailing and leading of this hyphen here, and it is hi, how, and our you will be in the second part. Or we can define another string, like for example, we name it current work directory, and it is equal. If I open my Anaconda prompt, here we define our work directory to be this directory. I define it here. This is our current work directory. It should be K. This is our current work directory. We will have an error, but I will explain in the upcoming videos how we can solve it. But now just remember, because we have this error, we can put an R at the beginning of this work directory, so this error will be disappeared. And this is our work directory. It will just added two slashes in the strings for each of these directories. Between user, my name, and desktop Python, we have just these two slashes. But now we can say that split these slashes. If I press Shift and Enter, it should be split. Then we can see that it is split like that, and we can have access to each of these elements as a string. For example, 0 will return as C, or let me just copy and paste this one and write it in another cell. It will return as C. If I say from the first one, from the second one to the end, then it will return as 0, 1. From second to 0, 1. From 2, 3, and 4, all of them will be returned. These are the indexes. Or we can say, for example, 4, then only these two will be returned. This is how we can work with the strings. And the third string is, for example, is equal to 2 multiply 3 plus 4. If I press Shift and Enter, it's just a string and it doesn't calculate anything for us. This is string, we can call it string 3. String 3. It's just a string and it doesn't calculate anything for us. But we can use eval. Sorry, actually we should use this. It's not a method for the strings. It's just a method for us. We should write eval and put this string inside of it, and then it will calculate what we have inside of this string. It calculate 2 multiplied by 3 would be 6, plus 4 will be 10. This is how we use eval. And then you want to talk about the is alphabet or not. String 4, for example, string 4 is equal to 1, 2, 3. If I press Shift and Enter, and is alphabet, if I run it, it will return as false because these values here are not alphabet and they are numbers. If I Shift and Enter, it is false. But if I use is numeric, Shift and Enter, it will return as true. Like if instead of 1, 2, 3, call it high, then for is numeric it would be false, but for is alphabet it will return true. But there are too many important methods that by pressing tab we can see all of them: capitalize, center, count, encode, find, or if I just say is, for example, is num, is alpha, is ASCII, if is it ASCII code or not, is decimal, is it a decimal or not, it will turn true or false based on what we have in our string. Is lowercase or is it, we can see all of them like that. But now two important things are upper and lower cases. We can change them to the upper and lower cases. How that we are doing it? We define string 5 and it is equal to hi with H capital. My name is Peter, for example. And this is our string. Hi, my name is Peter. I can just press dot and upper, then it will change all the character of this element to the capital, and we can to the upper cases. and we can change them to lower cases by using dot lower. Very easily it will change all of them to the lower cases. So again, this is our string 5. Now I want to split this string 5 dot split. It would be this list, and I call it string list. This is our string list. We want to rebuild this sentence that we have here. This is a list. This is a list of strings. Okay, but we want to rebuild it. This is a list. Hi, my name is Peter. We want to combine all of them together. How we do that? We use join. Okay, dot join. I'll explain how does it work. I paste it here and I put a space here. I press shift and enter. It just build this sentence again. But what if there is no space here? I press shift and enter. So all of these elements of this list will be stick together. I put a space here, they will be separated. I can put, for example, a star here, separate them by a star. Or I can put this backslash here, separate them by backslash. We can put them together and using this join, and it's actually very practical, and we use it a lot when we are working with the directories or want to change, for example, the link to a website or some commands coming as a JSON format, and it's very applicable, and we can use it in different applications.